Hello everyone, my name is Charles from Dravia Studio, and here it is a new tutorial. I'm happy to show you this new tutorial because it is about of a key feature we meet in Luxcore. This feature is called Light Group. It is a feature you meet in some paid software like Indigo Render or Maxwell Render. It is basically a feature that help you to render multiple version of your same light and of your same render. Let's say you want to render your project with daylight, your project with artificial light, garden light, and various kind of HDRI, overcast and sunny day, and you can do all that at once. With one render you get all your render with little performance penalty, and you can now that in Luxcore this feature have been implemented so well that you can now animate with a single render all your lights. This is awesome. I will show you for this tutorial first how to enable this feature and how to play with it, and also we can check and see where the feature is and how you can get yourself inside. So let's start. As you can see, I have the scene from the previous tutorial, and this time around I have just add some kind of nice bulb light which is visible here in the library, and this is all, and you can see this is the results. I have one HDRI representing my sky, my night sky. I have also the light outside here, which is the floss ball light here. I can just disable them here and they are outside. And I also have a simple area light inside. You can see here in the transparent view this area light representing my interior light. So I have 3 lights for the moment, and let's say I want to play with light group. One thing, you don't have to use light group if you have multiple lights in your scene, but you can use light group if you want with one render to play with lighting, color, and make variation. But if you want to stick with single render, you don't need to make any kind of light group. It is not mean for lighting only, it's mean for multiple variation of lighting. Okay, so let's start. So I have all my lighting here. My HDRI, which is the night night HDRI, is set into a sun. Now we don't have any light source, so we have sun. You come over here and you change the sun to be a simple Hemi light here. You switch from sun to Hemi, and when it's done, you load your sun here. And here you have a setup for light group, and you have to choose between multiple light group to create to assign this sun, this light to a particular light group. So here we come in this part, and here you have Luxcore light group, and you enable your light group and you give them names. So the first one will be night, like this, night. Okay, the second one will be the outside light we see here, so let's call them globe light, can be also garden light. And let's create a third one for the interior area light, which is call it neon, and probably we want to add a daylight, so let's add daylight. Okay, now we have our 4 HD light group. So now we're gonna attach this light group to each light. So let's select first the sunlight here. Okay, the sunlight is selected. I come over here, I have the setting, and I switch, I take a night. Simple as that. the third one, which is the neon, the area lights. So let's select it here, and we have in light setting area, we switch and take neon. And we have another one, which is the daylight. The daylight will be a simple HDRI here. Let me load one HDRI. Which one? This one. Okay, I have a good value for this one, which is 141. Okay, something like that. And let's see. Let me hide the first light and see how it look here. Okay, so like this. Okay, we have the sun in the middle here. This is what I want. I have also my optics denoiser enabled, and this is it. Let's make the night lights back. We have this light, and we have to search for the setting called light group and switch this one to, this one is the word, so it is daylight. Okay, this one is sun, so it is night, and we have the daylight in HDRI here. So now that we have everything setting, we need to set the last one, which is our globe light. So you have to come over here, because here we have a light inside. It is a mesh light, so you have to search for the emitting light, so this one, and search for the node parameter here, and you have this one, which is called globe light. And now we have everything attached to each light. So now we can make a render. Okay, if you come over here, image, as you can see, I have a previous test, and we want to remake our render. So let me reduce the refresh rate, and let's launch the render. As you can see, it starts well, no bugs. I'm still on GPU, and you will see that we have a mix of all the render, all the light inside of the scene. We have the daylight, the interior light, the globe, everyone, and it's quite a mess, is not it? But here come the magic. So let's stop the render. Okay, let's stop the render, and when the render is stopped, okay, took a bit of time to stop, but stop now. So let's come over here, and we have the compositor, and this is where the magic is. Here you see automatically we have all our light groups set as node group here for us, and you can come over here, you are in composite, and you can come in the light group setting and click on this button to update all the lights from the compositor. As you can see, I have disabled the displacement, so we have faster render for the lighting, and at the end I can enable it. And here is the magic. Let's first turn off the daylight, which is here. Let's put 0, and you see the light is out of the game. Now let's turn on the night light, which is our HDRI here, 1. Okay, night light is here, so let's put 4, so we have more of it, and probably 2.5. We can also play with the color of the light, as you can see here. Okay, nice. And let's turn the inside light a bit neon, 2 or 1. Okay, this is nice. And we have our globe light, which is here, which is 10. It is not 10 by default. There's the value have from my previous setting before the tutorial, so you can make your test and see that it is working fine. And you see, I can make various kind of lighting. I can also turn, this one is the default light group. It rule every light that in your scene without light group. So as we have every light assigned to each light group, we don't have to worry about it. And now let's say we want a daylight only. So let's put this one and 0 for this one, 0 for this one, 0 for this one. And this whole, you see, we have our daylight and we can play with it, okay, like it. Okay, you see, nice. In a 54-second of render, you have multiple kinds of light. You see, it is pretty awesome, is not it? And the good thing is that you can also animate this light. So let me show you how to do that. We will not go in depth for this, but you will get the principle. So let's first enable the displacement just by connecting the previous setting here, and let's come back to our light, so not our compositor, and let's switch this one off and make a simple night render. Okay, I want my bulb to be very fighty here with a lot of light, and I want my night to be a bit like this. Okay, very interesting. This will be set for us during the next render. So let's start image render. The render starts, as you can see. The beginning of the render starts with a very low sample per second, but this goes up as the render continue. So don't worry about it. You don't have too much performance penalty with light group. As you can see, we have 1.3 mega sample, and it is quite interesting. So I let the render go a bit longer, so we can play with a better result. Let's increase the refresh interval so we have more response from the viewport. It is really not as responsive as I want, but it gives us time to render the scene. It is denoising each light group pass. Okay, and let's update. Okay, by clicking on this, you update all the settings in the compositor here. So this just turn off the daylight and resets everything here. And what I want to show you about this very nice feature, let me add the animation timeline, horizontal split here, and let's switch it to timeline. Where are you? Here. We want to turn off every light. Okay, so we better understand how to animate each one. So we have only our night light animated. So we start from 0 at frame 1, insert a keyframe. Okay, and let's go to frame 80 and add a keyframe here. Let's put 2. Okay, insert keyframe here. When we move the Blender, sometime have some small issue with node animation in Luxcore. I don't know why, but as you can see, as we move our timeline here, we see that it's updates here. You see, okay, and you can still continue there and said, okay, now we have this one, which is good. We can insert another keyframe here, insert a keyframe, then move a bit forward to here and tell this one to be like 20. Okay, and insert another keyframe and insert a keyframe a bit over here for the inside light. Insert a keyframe, move a bit and change the number. No, move somewhere over here. Okay, and change it to be like this too. You get the habit, and I prefer to be a bit lighter on this one, and insert another keyframe. So here you have an animation. You see, if I move the timeline here, I see how everything is animating. See, and with only one render, as we have here a 2-minute render, we can have an entire animation with just a 1-minute render. This is how powerful this feature is. You can even get the daylight in the mix and turn off everything here. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for watching and see you the next time.